Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the coaching table once again. Today we have a Diamond 1 Omen main playing the Ascent. You know that I love doing the Omen VOD reviews. This is a tier 3 Discord sub, so that means that you get all of these secret coaching channels unlocked, plus you get one free VOD review and a tracker review by being a tier 3 Discord sub. Now, hello, I'm a fresh Diamond gamer who mainly plays Omen but loves to pick Breach, Sage and Killjoy on specific maps. This VOD is my worst game in Diamond. Great. I felt like I was giving it all, but I'm certain that I didn't. I feel like I should submit this VOD rather than a VOD where I completely dominate the round. Through your analysis, I'm sure I can minimize all the mistakes I've made to zero and implement new playstyle. Radiant emoji. Okay, let's see what his tracker says. So his tracker says that win rate is really high. 71 matches this act. 71 matches this act. Not bad. 60% win rate almost. Headshot ratio is really good. Like for a Diamond player, like 38%, 50% with Vandal, bro. Holy macaroni, my guy's only hitting the heads. Okay. Not too shabby. Damage per round is nothing special. To be honest, like, even though, you know, his headshot percentage is just pointless, to be honest. Like, I mean, you have like 100% headshot ratio if you're just going for the heads, literally, like, and not killing the targets. Like, why do I even look at that statistic? It's stupid. One thing that is very troublesome here is the amount of times that you die. Like, your KD is terrible if you want to consistently grind and rank up. Like, you need to minimize the amount of deaths that you're taking in solo queue. Like, you know, like, you need to learn, like, how to play a trading game, how to play on the contact of your teammates a bit more. Like, you don't need to fight everything and everyone. Like, you need to learn how to close out the rounds without actually dying. I mean, if it is necessary for you to die, sure, like, you know, you need to go for some kills, for some 50-50 gunfights. But usually when I see this type of a tracker, I'm reviewing the players that are just picking the fights that are unnecessary for them. The whole point of playing Valorant ranked solo queue is picking up the fights that are necessary for you, like fights that, you know, you need to take, and there is probably like 70% of gunfights that you should never take in a solo queue environment. Now, his worst maps are the Pearl and Bind. I mean, playing Omen on Pearl is definitely hard, so if you, what he says he enjoys to play. I mean, if you already enjoy to play Breach, Sage and Killjoy, I would definitely recommend you to pick these three characters on Pearl. And maybe the Killjoy or Sage would be the best for Pearl. Like, Omen is just, you know, maybe with the new changes to Pearl, Omen is going to be much better, because it's going to be easier to actually play the retake on B site and to stop the enemy's push on B with only one smoke or one-way smoke. But right now, when the Pearl didn't get any changes, like, I just feel that Omen is not that playable. And on the other hand, like on Bind, your win rate is shit. Comparing that you play Omen. Like, try to watch some of my plays on Bind. Like, I really feel that on Bind, Omen is a machine to carry the matches. Like, basically, on Bind with Omen, like, anyone can have at least 60% win rate in solo queue. Like, 40% of matches you're probably gonna lose because of your boosted bonobo teammates. On Lotus, you're primarily playing Breach, Okie dokie, Split Omen, Heaven Omen, Ascent Omen, and Fracture Breach. Okay, not too shabby. Let me see his economy management. What the fuck? You're primarily maining Omen, and you have 0.6 KD on eco. That is impossible. Like, with Omen having this KD in eco rounds is impossible. Just pick up the shorty and then open the map, fuck up the enemies. Even now, with the shorty nerfs, still pick up the shorty. I mean, like, what is the problem? Like, take the shorty, take two shrouded steps, 2 smokes, and you can at least trade yourself for like 1 or 2 kills with that weapon. Or just go for the aggro place, like I don't know. Like, this is really terrible for an Omen player to have such a low impact in eco rounds. Like, there is something that we can definitely do there a bit better. When it comes to your Vandal and Phantom, even though even though your statistics, when it comes to the headshot percentage, are better on Vandal, you are a better Phantom player. Like, your ADR and kills per round with Phantom and Vandal are day and night. Like, definitely stick with the Phantom, man. Like, play the Phantom primarily. Like, this statistic here means nothing if you're not finding the kills and if your ADR is this low. Like, if I was you, I would only be using the Phantom on every single map, basically, in every single scenario. Like, with the Phantom, you're actually really good. Like, 0.8 kills per round is really good impact. And 124 ADR, I mean, fine. You know, good statistics, I guess. Now, Spectre, Ghost, Classic, and Shorty is nowhere to be found. And Operator usage is very low. I mean, even if you're playing, like, in this elo, you definitely need to learn how to play Operator a bit more. Because players have extremely low and very bad utility usage overall in Diamond, Ascendant, Platinum. A lot of the players reach Immortal 1 only with their mechanical skill. And their utility usage is so bad that you can punish them with Operator quite a lot. I highly recommend you to try to pick up the op on maybe your secondary account and try to play it a bit more, because once you master the Operator, like, Operator is usually my 4th or 3rd most used weapon on any agent. Like, you will see every single character that we do from Unranked to Radiant, actually Immortal 3, you will see that op is gonna be, like, in the top 5 minimum. Even Sage. Like, it is so easy to carry these matches and get an instant frag for your team and just play on the numbers advantage from that moment on. Like, a lot of the players are sleeping on the op, and you know, even if you're not good mechanically, develop your mechanics. Like, I mean, you need to become better player. Abuse what is OP. You know, like, a nice pun, Charlatan, nice pun. And definitely you can implement a bit more of the Judge gameplay, like, and Bulldog gameplay. Like, theoretically speaking, Judge and Bulldog are much better weapons for anti-eco rounds, and generally as a, you know, force-buy weapons, like Judge, Bulldog, and Stinger. Like, Spectre is only good when you're playing a second round, anti-eco round. So when you win the first round and you're playing the second round, in every single other round, you should be prioritizing the Judge, the Bulldog, and the Stinger. Now, let's see, like, is there anything else that we can take from this tracker? Nah, like, I mean, yeah, like, my dude is having a really low impact in the matches. Like, not only that he is not finding any kills, like, he is also finding quite a lot of deaths. Okay, let's see. Let's see what he's doing on Ascent. Angel hashtag Zaza. Love it, man. Okay, attacker side, defender side. First round on Ascent. Ooh, a bit of the scuffed VOD. No problemo. No problemo. Okay, let me give you a quick explanation about defender side on Ascent, and then let's move into the VOD. So, on Ascent on the defender side, very rarely, you should never give the enemies the space here, here, and here for free. Like, you should always be fighting for some early information and trying basically to pressure the enemies a bit and get the early info where the enemies are, potentially get a kill and get away. Do it in the safe way by jiggle peeking the enemies or doing some kind of a strategy together with your teammates. Definitely don't commit yourself to the 50-50 gunfights and commit yourself to fighting the enemies, but information is crucial on Ascent and applying the pressure, especially with the one-way smokes that you have on Ascent. Like, with the one-way smokes on Ascent with Omen, you can control any area of the map. Primary position for you to defend on Ascent is always going to be Garden and short area of the map. We need to keep the control of this right here. Like, if you lose the control of the short and Garden area of the map, you and your teammates can be butt-fucked in quite a gruesome ways. We consistently need to keep the information, whether or not some enemies are maybe in the market. We don't need to exclusively fight for this position and risk our life, you know, here, but we need to keep in mind that enemies can be mid, that enemies can be market, and we need to track the enemies. It's really good if you have some kind of a alarm bot here, or tripwire, or trademark, or something like that to get the information whether or not enemies can be around the market area of the map. And as a final focus of yours is defending both B site and A site, but you should never start your rounds fully passively onto the bomb sites unless you have some kind of a plan and strategy in mind. And on this map, A site is your quote-unquote default bomb site that you should be prioritizing a bit more on both attackers and defenders side, because it is easier for the attack, harder for defense, and easier for the post plant and harder for the retake. With that being said, like in the first round with Omen, you should always start with a classic pistol shorty strategy on the A site, and basically, you know, you're buying the shorty, classic, dropping the shorty on the ground, light shield, and you're buying one shrouded step. So now, since the shorty has been changed, I would be sacrificing one of my smokes in the first round to play the classic pistol shorty strategy. You buy the shorty, wait for the enemies to push, you know, or maybe like at the start of the round you can jiggle pick the enemies and see if they're pushing, bait the enemies into the pushing, baba booey, take the shorty, do this type of a smoke that creates a cubby location, wait for the enemies in the smoke like this, like move left and right, dodge the enemies random penetration, baba booey, take the kill, get the fuck out into the short, and play the retake together with your teammates. Now, let's see what he's gonna do in the first round and how he's gonna play this. There is not a single moment of time where I would actually start in the market, only because like retaking A site is hell of a time in the first round. B site is 2 times easier for the retake in the first round than A, and generally speaking, like, you know, in the first round we cannot gamble this much that enemies are gonna come B. Like, we cannot really play 4 players towards the B site, and only poor Sky is alone on A, and she cannot do anything. Like, I mean, if she's getting split from the short in A long, if Sky dies right now, it's GG. Like, it's the bomb site for the enemies. Okay, immediate mistake. Always remember, guys, that precision of utility more than speed of utility. It is better for you to take your time deploying the smokes and utility instead of giving some kind of a utility that enemies can abuse against your teammates, that is gonna leave the gap for the enemies, and also like you know, that is potentially gonna be useless in that specific round. So here, you know, if you wanted to do a default smoke, just chill. Like, I mean, what if you're getting revealed by the Sova dart? Like, just do the smoke. To be honest, like, what I would have done here, I would have instantly deployed the one-way smoke up there, so that I'm fully delaying and stopping the enemy's push, and now, you know, I can just hold the B main area of the map from this position. My teammates can hold it from the site and stairs, and that's it. We fully stopped the enemy's advance. You see how here, like with just a slight changes of your utility usage, you could have stopped the enemy's push. Like, take your time. Like, I mean, enemies are all the way back here in the B main area of the map. They're just pushing into the site. You have Raze on stairs, one guy on the bomb site. Do the one-way smoke, disallow the enemies to pressure you, and that's it. Enemy jet got deleted, they have nothing to counter your one-way smoke, and essentially, easy round.
On side, 3 on side.
In this round, like, definitely, like, you know, this one small piece of utility could have been a huge difference between you winning or losing this life round, and also protecting the life of your teammates. This play that he went for was super risky. Like whenever you're teleporting with Omen in an open area of the map, like, you really need the support of your utility, the support of your flash, the support of your teammates. Like, this play is completely 50-50. It can work, but in a 3v4 scenario, like, maybe it would have been better if he just waited for his teammates and then re-hit the site together. And here, in this scenario, always, like when you're playing Omen, always pay attention when your utility, when your signature utility, the smokes, are being recharged. Like, wait for them. Like, Spike got planted, like, what? 6 seconds ago. We have plenty of time to retake this site and to defuse the Spike. Chill for the 5 seconds, and now, with this smoke, we can do so many different outplays. Like, maybe we can use this smoke as a one-way right here to fully block the enemy's vision at the back of the site, and now we're just fighting enemies there and on the site. We can also use this one with this smoke as a drop smoke. So basically, we can do a fake smoke right here, like this, drop with a smoke to this angle, kill that guy, and isolate the 1v1 gunfights with a frenzy, especially because he has 66 HP. Like, that smoke could have given you like 20% higher chances of winning this round. You see, like if you're thinking in this way that I'm thinking, you will just have like 20 to 30% higher chances of winning your rounds. Like, your utility usage, especially when you're playing Omen, is everything. You need to think 2 steps ahead. You need to use your utility to isolate 1v1 gunfights for yourself. And picking here alone, while your teammates are not even ready to support you, absolute suicide. You need to slow down a bit. I knew exactly, based on your statistics and based on the tracker, that you're forcing way too many unnecessary gunfights. We need to change that. Wait for your teammates. Make your utility users meaningful. Wait for the signature abilities to recharge. Like, you have 35 seconds to defuse the Spike, but you can defuse it like 3 times. Like, just chill a bit.
Last player standing.
Okay, in this second round, you know, like, if you're playing the second round on Ascent, like, and you lost the first round, once again, I would just go for some kind of a shorty strategy. Now, whether you should play A or B, I don't know. We need to gamble, because just based on 1 round, we don't know what type of pattern enemies are gonna abuse on the attacker side, and we just don't know what's gonna happen. Like, right now, it is just better to, you know, just gamble. Like, if I already have 2 teammates on B, I'm gonna do the classic pistol shorty strategy on the A side. Like, with the shorty, it is so easy. Even after the changes, it's gonna be so easy for you to trade yourself for 1 or 2 kills. Like, the shorty changes are primarily a nerf for economy. But investing 300 credits in this round to potentially get 2 kills and win the round, I'll take that chances at any moment of time or day. 1 shroud a step, shorty, 1 smoke, you have everything to potentially get 1 or 2 kills with yourself. Okay, we're gambling on B, no problemo. Especially, you know, like, strategies with Omen are very, very important. When you're playing these eco and halby rounds. Like, right now, we cannot really fight the enemies in a default way. We need to have some kind of a plan and where we want to fuck up the enemies. Like, basically, I'm gonna showcase you like 2 strategies that are also really good, like, in this round. Like, for example, you can play this position here, do this type of a smoke for yourself, like this, for the speedway, and then you can hide in this spot right here. A lot of times, enemies won't be expecting you there, especially because, you know, it's a very small position and nobody would think that an enemy can fit in there. You can just wait here, wait for the enemies to hit the switch, baba booey, take 1 kill, that's it. Your job is done that round. Like, or you can play here, wait for the enemies to push, create the small cubby position with a smoke right here, like this. Enemies are pushing, baba booey, hide your ass in there, like this. Wait for the enemies to push, take 1 kill, that's it. Like, in this round, you really need to focus yourself more on trading yourself for the kills. Like, in every single eco and halby round, you want to play a bit more sneaky beaky, use the cheesy type of strategies, and try to trade yourself for at least like 1 or 2 kills to damage the enemy's economy and to allow your teammates to have higher chances of winning this eco round. We cannot play in a default way. Like what they are doing here is just, you know, you'll get demolished. And also, like, a huge problem here was, Sky playing alone on the Ascent. I mean, I know it's an eco round and enemies can go anywhere, but still, prioritize in the first few rounds of the match on Ascent, playing Ascent a bit more than B side. And then decide based on where the enemies are abusing you and where the enemies are fucking you up, what you should actually play and prioritize. Sure.
Spike planted.
Okay, guys. In eco rounds and hellbite rounds, why is it really good for you to retake the Ascent from the tower? Because from tower, I have one very cringe play that I love to do, and a play that actually worked quite a lot of times for me. So, what I would do in this round is I would have definitely played with a classic and shorty here, and waited for the enemies to push the B side. I would have done this type of a smoke if the enemies are pushing, and I would just try to get one kill, get out with a kill, and just play passively. But enemies pushed A in this round. You're retaking from the tower, going with your teammates, changa, 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 changa. And here, we can do a mid-air drop smoke, like this. You're dropping down as the smoke is dropping. Easy kill for you. Like this is one of the best things that you can do in those eco and hellbite rounds to pressure the enemies, clear the under for your teammates, and to isolate the enemies in a 1v1 fights when you're playing these eco and hellbite rounds. Okay. It was an eco round anyways. Okay. So already based on the first two rounds, we can see that enemies went B, A, and already we can pre-assume that that is the pattern that enemies are going to be using throughout this match right here. So, just based on the first two rounds, right now I would position myself on the B side, because the most common pattern that you're going to see in the solo queue is the AB pattern, and AB rule, where players, every single round they're going to try to do something different, and that is why I would not be playing the A side in this specific round. But already starting from this round, we need to be a bit more aggressive in either A main or B main area of the map. Like, we need to take more control and more information. We cannot sell this and this to the enemies without even trying to fight them. Like, just do the one-way smoke up here, jiggle peek the enemies, that's it. Can we all take a moment to appreciate the Arceus lineup? His KO revealed himself, man. Just a second. Just a sec, boys. I really need to learn how to throw a fast one-way in a custom game. I mean, Omen requires the same level of practice as well as Killjoy, Cypher, and any other character. Like, if you want to truly main the Omen and become the master of this character, you need to spend some time, like in a custom server. Otherwise, you're, it's better for you to practice these things in a custom server than practicing in a live match, and then being slow and losing the rounds and losing the games because of it. Okay, another thing that you need to be a bit faster with, and what you need to pay attention on, is the minimap, definitely. Like, right now, when you're jump spotting here, so we're not doing anything. We're doing absolutely nothing. Like, we're just jump spotting the enemies and waiting for the enemies to push. As soon as I would have seen this on the minimap, my smoke is going out of my hands. Like, and the number one mistake that you and your teammates are making right now is playing so passively on Ascent. On Ascent, passive gameplay is the worst gameplay that you can have. not fighting for A main or B main area of the map is suicide for your win rate on a defender's side. Like, we need to pressure the enemy somehow. Like, the whole point of this pressure that we are doing in A main and B main is not like to kill the enemies there, to stop the enemy's push there. The whole point is that to waste some of the enemy's utility before they push the site. Like, make them waste at least a dog, a flash, something that is gonna be potentially valuable for them when they're pushing the site. Like a Sova drone, I don't know, anything. And here, already, when he saw this arrow flying onto the A site, I would have instantly pulled out my smoke. There. You're doing this smoke here, the deeper smoke, when you're playing a long-range weapons, and when you're playing passively on the A site, and you're doing this closer smoke when you're playing like eco rounds and halba rounds, and when you actually want to use the smoke to outplay the enemies. This smoke should have been faster, at least like 2 seconds. Nice. And once again, I need to emphasize on the precision of your utility. Take your time, put the smoke properly, don't leave any gaps in the smoke from which your teammates can get fucked, and we're good. Okay. Like, look at the smoke. Just look at it. Like with this smoke, enemies can peek behind the smoke. Enemies can push there, and here. This smoke is so dangerous for your teammates. And also, when you're playing these anti-eco rounds in Valorant, like you're playing the third round, the bonus round, etc., etc., really try to focus yourself on saving the weapons as best as you can. Try not to get your economy be damaged in this round. Really try to win this round with the least amount of casualties. Don't hunt the kills. Don't go for the kills. Play the replay game. And just try to stay alive as best as you can. Right now, my primary focus would be supporting my most aggressive allies. But in the same time, I'm not gonna allow the enemies to kill me in this round. So, going for this type of a play is something that I would never do in my life. This was also like quite dangerous. Like for an example here, we don't have a full information if all of the enemies rotated. Like whenever you're going through some kind of an unknown territory, an unknown area of the map, where there is a slight potential, 1% of chance that enemies can be there, clear everything. Clear this, clear that, clear that, jiggle peek the enemies, jiggle peek the enemies, jiggle peek the enemies, clear these, like, clear everything. You never know what the enemies are truly doing, whether they are flanking, lurking, splitting apart. Like, solo queue players are very weird, and usually they don't like to play together, so it's better to be safe than to be sorry. Question in the chat. Want people be able to read the smokes you do? I feel like whenever I want to play shorty during an eco round, enemies will expect what I do from how different my smoke is placed compared to normal rounds. I really feel that solo queue players are not putting any thoughts into that. Like, I never died because enemies read my smoke placement. Usually why I die is because my shots don't get registered with a shorty. or I just do some kind of a potato play. Like, I really feel that players in solo queue, although generally, are playing on the full autopilot mode, and very rarely they distinct what the smokes are used for. Especially the players that never play the controllers. Like, that is a huge problem of Valorant community in general. Like, once you master the controllers, and once you understand the different smoke placements, you will understand, you know, what is the smoke made for. Like, but I feel that 99% of Valorant community is autopiloting their games. They want to win, they want to be Radiant players, but they're still autopiloting. Like they're playing like they don't give a shit, and they're not using like 50% of their brain power when they're playing the matches. And that is the number one killer of majority of players' gameplay. How to fix autopiloting? There is multiple different like routines, trainings, and multiple different ways. Like my number one recommendation and my number one thing that I always suggest to the players that I coach is making a visual playbook for yourself. Like what you want to do, what you want to focus on a specific map, which strategies you want to perform, and always keeping the visual notes of what you want to improve in your gameplay and what type of solutions you want to find for yourself. Like making the notes on every single map, like what you want to do in the first round, second round, third round, on which topics you want to, on which things you want to pay the most attention on a specific map, on a specific agent, which problems you're trying to fix during your gameplay. Because when you're in ranked match and you're in the heat of the moment and you're losing 0-6, your brain doesn't work. So visual notes are always better than mental notes. But there's multiple ways to fix that. Like there's like 10, 20 different routines that can help you with autopiloting. And also, another mistake in this round that we're splitting apart. Like, especially in this round here, when we are in a huge numbers advantage. My primary focus would have been playing on the numbers of 2 and playing on the refrag potential. I would not even find myself in this A main area of the map in this round right now. Like, that was a huge mistake. Right now, I would have been playing with my Raze because she is my most aggressive teammate that has the highest chances of dying, and teammate that is, out there. And we cannot let that guy die for nothing and ruining our economy for the 4th round. Like, in these rounds, when you have a huge numbers advantage, just focus on the team play game and fully focus on playing with your most aggressive teammate or teammate that has the highest chances of dying. Especially now, when the Raze died, I would have instantly shifted my focus on short area of the map. I would not have went for this solo play and solo flank. I would have made sure that this guy stays alive and that I'm playing with a Sky on the refrag potential. And now, this guy, solo gunfight. This guy, solo gunfight. This guy, solo gunfight. You, solo gunfight. Solo fight, 50-50 fight. It can go in anyone's favor. Sky died. Nobody can refrag her. We can lose this round now.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Okay, now let's see his thought process. Chat, do you think he's gonna play with his Reyna or go for a solo play? I'm betting that he's gonna go into market. Finally, bro. But listen, when you're 2 versus 1, whenever you're playing a retake against the enemy that is left alone, always expect some kind of an aggression and some kind of an aggressive play. Like right now, you should not be giving the smokes for that enemy. You should be doing one smoke to block a vision of one choke point, entering the site together with your Reyna, playing on the refrag potential, and that's it. Or smoking the spike for the safe defuse. So, right now, when we have this one smoke, we either want to use that smoke as a one-way in market, like this, to block the vision of the potential brimstone that lurked up there, or we want to save our smoke to smoke the spike, defuse the spike, and fight with Arena.
For me.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay, in this round, because of basic rule of fear, where players are usually afraid to push the bomb side where they lost in the previous round, once again, I would be playing B side a bit more aggressively, trying to take the B main control and giving the smokes to my teammates. But if your teammates are already playing aggro, you don't need to play aggro with them. So right now, I would just give the one-way smoke for my Reyna, so she can take the full beam control without even fighting the enemies. And probably, I would be playing around the short area of the map and just making sure that garden and short area is completely cleared and controlled. On Ascent, you truly need to like play the game. When you're playing Omen on Ascent on the defender side, you're playing a babysitting game, essentially. Like, at the start of the rounds, you're just observing for what type of plays and for what type of picks your teammates are going, giving them the one-way smokes, and that's it. Like, you need to babysit your teammates 24/7 on both attack and defense.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
Both of the smokes that he has given here are the smokes that are not important. I mean, these type of smokes you're only doing when your teammates are fighting for the mid area of the map, or your teammates are somewhere on the mid. And I would not even do these type of smokes. Like, I usually do the... unless I'm doing some kind of an aggressive play in mid, and I'm fully taking the mid control, you just want to do the one-way up here, or the one-way up here on the doorway. I think that one is gonna fall. Like, that's shit. You want to do it up here, sorry. My mistake. And, essentially, that's it. Like, doing this smoke here, and this smoke here, when none of your teammates are peeking short or peeking bottom mid or fighting for the mid at all. Why? You know? Like what is the purpose of that? I just wasted 2 very valuable utilities for me to stop and delay the enemy's push. Like, in this round, maybe I will need to do the one-way for my teammate in short, so that my Sky doesn't die like a potato. You know? Like, this smoke is so OP. Like, enemies cannot push short at all. Or if the enemies are splitting the A site, I can do the one-way there, and my teammates can focus on the long. On the main area of the map. Like, this is waste of utility. Is there any rule on when I should buy a full armor again when being damaged from previous round? Like, he is currently 34 out of 50. Good question, good question. So, in this round, in the previous round, he took the damage from the Killjoy, and now in this round, he has 34 shield. Usually, when do you want to replenish your armor? If you are below 25 HP, 25 armor, if you have money for the armor, always replenish it. Why? Because the headshot with the Phantom is 124 on the medium range. And you just don't want to die from that. Like, and from some kind of equal hull by weapons. So, as long as you have 25 and above, you don't need to replenish armor. Especially if your economy is shit still. You didn't build a proper economy for the next, like, 1, 2, or 3 rounds. But if you have, like, above 4,000 credits in this round, you want to buy the armor. So, basically, buy the armor if you have money for it and you're below 25 armor, and replenish the armor, like, if you have money for it. Like, if you have, I don't know, 4,000 plus credits in that round saved.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
And this gunfight that he has taken here, like, literally, cancer fight. Like, generally speaking, with a Phantom, and when you're, like, you want to avoid these 50-50 gunfights at the early stages of the game. Like, if there is no reason for you to take a 50-50 fight, don't take it. Especially in an open area of the map where enemies can peek you from left, from right, from above, like, from so many different ways and angles, with so many different ways and from so many different angles. Like, it's stupid, pointless. Like, right now, just getting the information, whether or not enemies are mid, is plenty enough from you. And I would always try to fight the enemies in the fights that actually work for me, or fighting with my utility. Flashing the enemies, peeking the enemies, waiting for enemies to push here, flash, peek, take a kill. Like, these type of fights you want to avoid as much as you actually can. I have no idea what we're doing. Like, how I have no idea. I lost it here. Like, that flash was a complete waste, literally, because you have no information whether the enemies are in the speedway right here. You have no information whether or not enemies crossed this area of the map, and you have no information what the enemies are actually doing on mid. Like, I cannot go for a flash here and push the mid carelessly without any info. I would have went for this type of a play that he is doing if my teammates were already on short. Like, they already have the, they're already fighting the enemies. I know exactly where all of the enemies are, doing the flash, supporting my teammates and pushing the mid. But this play is not based on any, like, it's based on a pure pre-assumption that enemies are gonna fall back because of this flash, and that no enemies are here. And that pre-assumption is really bad, because we didn't have any control at the top mid at the early stages of the game. With Omen, like, with any movement type of character, and any controller, on a map like Ascent, you need to learn how to play, like, shotguns and weapons that can guarantee you the kills. Like, your one-taps always hold a certain levels of uncertainty, and if you're just relying on your mechanical skill, instead of your positioning, movement, and utility usage, you already have like 50% less chances of winning this round. Buy the Stinger, Light Shield, Shorty, outmaneuver the enemies with some kind of a flash, aggressive play, strategy around the smokes. It is 10 times easier for you to get the kills in that way, on a defender side and attacker side as well, than going for the Sheriff one-taps and getting stomped by the enemy's utility usage and the better guns that they have. Like, the last thing you should do in Valorant is relying on your mechanical skill. Like, literally, during your gameplay, your mechanics are maybe at the 5th place. Like, when it comes to your chances of winning the rounds. Also, when you're playing Omen, observe the place for which your teammates are going. Like with your smokes and utility, you should also support the aggressive plays and generally the plays that your teammates are going for. Right now, when a Reyna is there, giving some kind of a weird smoke that Reyna can abuse would be really, really good. Like, for example, giving her some kind of a smoke like this, or smoke like this, so she can outmaneuver the enemies and actually utilize that shorty there. And then, I would definitely come here to bait for that Reyna, so she can utilize that shorty perfectly. I would not have done a default smoke there, because I completely isolated that angle and that Reyna from the enemies, and from me basically, and that Reyna is dead 100%, without taking a single kill. Maybe she's gonna take a kill, I don't know, how good at angle clearing Diamond players actually are, but, if this is smoked, they're probably just gonna clear her from the wall right here, and that Reyna is gonna get destroyed. Like, observe the positions and place that your teammates are going for and try to support them in the same way that you would support yourself in that situation. Like, right now, this type of a smoke would have been good. This type of a smoke, any smoke that allows that Reyna to close the gap with the enemies and outmaneuver them. Easy clear, man. Easy clear. Yurakic Noah! Hi again. I think I will delete Valorant. Don't do that, man. Like, this is the best FPS game that we have right now. And I know that the community makes it unbearable, but it's really sad. It's really sad that I truly believe that Valorant is the best FPS tactical FPS Actually, it's not a shoot. It's actually tactical, but not a shooter that we have right now. Like, it is the most fun, the most versatile, and is the most polished game, unfortunately, right now. Like, the only problem of this game is the community is like, Jesus Christ, man.
Jet low. Rotate A, KO.
Okay, one small tip. Like, when enemies deploy you the smoke, here for mid, like this, usually, you're going to have a small gap right here to kill the enemies. No matter if it is the Astra, Brimstone, Omen, or Viper smoke. Usually there's gonna be a tiny gap. With Omen smoke, this gap is huge. But with other agents like the smoke, the gap is a bit smaller. And right now, you know, if the enemies are already rotating through mid to short, like, I would always try to get on this position and maybe try to, you know, delete one enemy. Because a lot of the players, you know, when they're pushing mid, they behave towards the smokes like it's some kind of a wall. And it's very easy for you to, you know, like, abuse that type of an angle to delete the enemies. And potentially find a kill. Map awareness needs to be a bit better as well. Like, your raise is getting pressured on B. And right now, we need to pull ourselves towards that Sova and try to delete the Sova. Sova is behind you. Sova is behind him, bro. Oh my lord, man.
Planted. Last player
What?
standing.
Listen, if one enemy is alone, and you're playing an eco round, I mean, in any round, like, if I know that two enemies are short, one enemy is on B, I'm gonna try to fight that enemy in a 2 versus 1 gunfight, bring the numbers lower, and try to play a 2 versus 2 retake. Like, whenever one enemy is isolated, you want to pressure that enemy as soon as possible to take an easy kill and to just, you know, preserve the life of your teammates.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
But generally speaking, like, one thing that you need to improve if you want to play Omen on a bit higher levels, map awareness needs to be better. And not a map awareness, you know, where the enemies are and what enemies are doing. Map awareness in terms of where your teammates are and how your teammates are playing. And which gunfights your teammates are picking up. So that you can support them with your utility, with your presence, with everything.
Shadows traveling.
Okay, smoke the spike. Halve the fuse. Pick up the gun now. Pick up the gun. Yes. Nice try. Nice try. Nice try. Okay. The ending was okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Guys. Stop with a fucking pro play. And stop with watching some stupid coaches and I don't know what you're doing. Like, yes, Fnatic can follow the light shield meta. Because they're playing in esports environment, they can rely on their teammates that they're gonna do some kind of a chunks of damage to the enemies, but you never know in what type of a fucked up situation you're gonna end up in solo queue, in what type of a clutch you're gonna end up, and you're not always gonna fight the enemies one by one. So, in pro play, you can utilize the light shield strategy to play more full buy rounds. But in solo queue, you cannot do that. In solo queue, what you need to learn is how to abuse different weapons and different strategies so you have higher chances of winning eco rounds, half buy rounds, force buy rounds, anti-eco rounds, and full buy rounds. So you should be learning how to play Shorty, Stinger, Judge, Bulldog, Frenzy, Sheriff, Marshall to higher levels and higher degrees on different maps so you have higher chances of winning those save rounds. Because your teammates will definitely not follow this type of economy, number one. Number two, if your teammates leave you in some kind of a, you know, clutch scenario, with a lower amount of health points, you have lower chances of winning that gunfight. Especially if you're left out in some kind of a 1 versus 3 on 1 versus 2 scenario. If you have money for the heavy shield, buy the stupid heavy shield. Don't go for the light shield. Now, in this round, I feel that we can very easily read what the enemies are gonna do. I don't know, maybe, you know, like, this is how I'm playing the game and this is how I'm personally gambling. Like, if the enemies have a Killjoy ultimate, 80% of times, based on statistical data of solo queue, enemies are gonna go on B site in solo queue. So, like, right now, we need to keep the full B main control with a one-way smoke, and we need to pressure the enemies in B main. Like, if the Killjoy plans the ultimate there, defending the site is gonna be hell of a time. And your raise is gonna be absolutely dead.
Cover going out.
Unlucky.
You should run.
Also, when I'm playing the B site, and I see that Killjoy has the ultimate, I always buy the Sheriff instead of the Shorty for this round. So that even if the enemies are ending up on B, and they maybe pull me from this position, you know, they push me back, the enemy Omen does a flash, they push me back, even though I have a one-way smoke, at least I have a Sheriff to destroy that Killjoy ultimate here and here. I can just easily destroy that ultimate, and that's it. So keep the Sheriff for these type of rounds, like when you think that Killjoy will plant the spike, plant the lockdown for the B site. The only position, obviously, where you cannot destroy the ultimate is here, but even in Immortal lobbies, I don't see the Killjoy players planting the lockdown there. Players are still mentally retarded, you know, in solo queue. So, majority of the times, they're gonna plant there, and it's gonna be easy for you to destroy it. Pay attention a bit more, like, on enemies' ultimate status. Like, enemies' ultimate abilities and the patterns in which enemies are using their ultimate abilities can tell you a lot what the enemies are gonna do next. Like, solo queue players are very easy to be predicted, all the way up to Radiant, and if you're following these casual patterns of solo queue, you will find much higher chances of winning these rounds and winning these matches, and countering the enemies. Which maps are the worst to play on site on defense? Essentially, like, on Fracture, Split, Ascent, and Pearl, you need to play a semi-aggressive gameplay. Like, you cannot let the enemies take the A main area of the map without even trying to fight the enemies. On other maps, you can play a bit more passive, but generally speaking, on a defender side, you should never be selling the main control to the enemies without a single gunfight. That gunfight doesn't need to be, you know, some gunfight that you commit to. It doesn't need to be like some kind of a fight that will result in your death. But getting the early information where the enemies are and how many enemies are there will give your teammates higher chances of rotating to support you. And also, like, you know, you can use your utility to actually fuck up the enemies with the one-way smokes, flashes, etc, etc. Did you ever get a 1-year ban? I didn't get banned in any video game ever. Why would I get a ban? I mean, I'm never toxic inside of the game. Like, I keep all of the toxicity for myself and for the stream. Unfortunately, like, that is something that I need to change. I need to start, when I want to be toxic, I think I need to be toxic, you know, in myself from now on. But I never open up the voice comms to be toxic. I never troll. I always play to win. I want to win. I hate losing, and I don't know, and I never cheated, like. That smoke in the B main area of the map was completely wasted. Like, just from these few rounds that he played for us, I can already tell that his map awareness is 0, bro. Like, I don't know how many times you're paying attention on the minimap, but this is horrendous, baby. Like, I will give you one specific training routine and a training example to fix your map awareness and to fix your mechanical skill on a bit higher levels. But, you know, if I see that the Killjoy, the Sky ultimate is not moving in a B main area of the map, like, why did I waste one of my smokes there? Like, come on, man. Like, you know, Sky ultimate is going only on the site. We didn't see anyone in the B main. Like, right now we have 2 smokes. We can use 1 smoke here, 1 way on top of this doorway, right there. We can use 1 smoke here.
Cover going out.
Voila. Enemies at the backside are useless. Flashing the enemies here. Taking the side control. And then fucking up the enemies at the back with some kind of a utility, or, you know, when the smokes disappear. Or maybe we can use like 1 smoke at the back of the site somewhere. Use a mid-air smoke here, so our teammates can safely cross there, teleport there, peek the enemies, kill them, enter the site, etc, etc. Like, why are we wasting our utility like this? Pay attention on the minimap more. Like, pay attention where the enemies can, where the enemies cannot be. These 2 smokes for the retake of B site, when the enemies are stuck on the site, are very powerful. You don't need to... You don't need to clear the backside at all. You don't need to worry about it. How good do you think is Harbor as a solo controller in solo queue? I would not play Harbor all the way up to Immortal 3. I feel that Harbor is very hard to be utilized properly in a solo queue environment. Only in like 10% of matches you can utilize the Harbor and carry with the Harbor below Immortal 3. From Immortal 3 he becomes extremely useful as well in the pro play. So I would be maining and playing Harbor from Immortal 3, but up to Immortal 3, Omen, Viper, Astra, Brimstone are 10 times better. Yo, your videos helped me so much. I didn't play any FPS games on PC and started with Valorant 1 year ago. I hit Ascent 3, so big love to you, bro. Come on, man. Immortal is close. Immortal is close, man. Once again, because like he is very low HP, I would have used the same smoke strategy to pressure the enemies. Like, this was a bit of a clusterfuck in general. Like, he just didn't destroy the arrow, you know, immediately. I mean, what can I say about that? Like, if he destroyed that arrow, like, you know, they would not get hit by the Sova ultimate in the first place, and nothing I can say here. But now, when we are left in this 3v2 scenario, I would either do the 1-way here to block the enemy's vision there, so they need to force the fight there and on the side, or I would do a mid-air smoke like this, clearing that position, isolating this fight, isolating that fight, and peeking when my teammates are taking the contact. Like, this mid-air smoke retake is very powerful when you're playing a close range weapons and when you have a very low HP. Okay. There's so many better things that he could have done in this round. Like, starting from... And majority of these things are utility usage and reading the enemies. You see how pointless this like half shield strategy actually is. Like, right now his teammates are playing an eco half by round, and he's playing a phantom with a light shield. Like, and his teammates like what have a spectre stingers and they force, like, because they think that he is forcing. They literally think that you're trolling, and that's why they're buying. If you already want to go for this type of a strat, which I think is stupid for solo queue, you need to tell your teammates what the hell you're doing. Like, we are either all following this economy management, or nobody's following it. Like, and sometimes if you do this in solo queue, your teammates will think that you're trolling and force buying, and then they're gonna start trolling as well. once again, listen. I'm starting the round with Omen on a defender's side. My primary focus is not my screen. My primary focus is the minimap. Focusing on the gunfights that my teammates are picking. If I look at the minimap here, and I see that my Sky is looking towards the A main area of the map, I'm instantly giving her the one-way smoke. Or I'm giving the one-way smoke for my Raze to control B main area of the map. Number one thing. Number two thing.
Something.
If I see that my Sky got a contact there, right now, my smoke is coming out of my hands into the shadow form. And I'm instantly giving the smoke to support my Sky and deploying my smoke. With Omen, you really need to pay a lot attention on the minimap in order to properly support your teammates on the at every single moment of time. Can you show the B one way, please? You deploy it here on top of the wall. Right there. Green triangle, top of the angle. Once again, also a bad smoke. Listen, guys. Especially if the enemies have a pop flash agents. Like, this is no bueno. You don't want to do the smoke here. Like, if the enemies have the KO, for an example, and they flash you, they're out into the site. It is better to do deeper smoke. So even when the enemies pop flash you, they still need to push through this choke point in order to execute the site. And, you know, Jet won't have enough range to do the aggressive execute. Omen won't have enough range to aggressively teleport. They will still need to push through this position a bit, and it's gonna be easier for you to split the enemies and to fuck them up in the choke point. This over rotation that he did, like, it's fine. Like generally speaking, on Ascent, map control and actually bomb site control doesn't matter that much as long as you're prioritizing the team play game and the refray game. I really feel that on Ascent, like, both A set and B set are fairly easy for the retake compared to some other maps. Like, for example, retaking the B set of Pearl is a bit, you know, iffy. Retaking the A set of Haven is hell of a time. Retaking the B set of Bind is hell of a time. Retaking any bomb set on Breeze is hell of a time. Retaking, I don't know, like, Icebox A site is hell of a time. But on Ascent, you can have a bit faster rotations, especially if you see that on the attacker side, enemies are not rotating. They're not, you know, they're usually hitting the site that they initially push. Sure, you can play with your teammates and do a bit faster rotations to support them. And not let them die in some stupid gunfights.
Blinding.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
Not bad utility usage, but let's talk about this. So, whenever you're deploying the smoke with Omen, like the number one, like when I'm doing the smoke, when I deploy the smoke, I take a sneak peek on the timer up there. The Omen smokes last exactly 14.25 seconds. In reality, they last 15 seconds, but it takes around, you know, 0.75 seconds for that smoke to actually deploy. Now, I look at the timer, and I see the timer says like 130 seconds. That already means that around 120, 119 on the clock, I need to pay attention on replenishing that smoke, or I need to pay attention that that smoke is gonna disappear. So here, if I'm going for this retake, I need first to redo my smoke in A main, flash the enemies on site, and if you already do a flash here, and this is smoked by the enemies, I would have instantly dropped on the site. So what I would have done in this example, because I have two teammates pressuring the enemies from the doors, is I would have done the smoke there, flash the enemies here, drop here, kill the enemies there, and then fight with my teammates. I understand that Omen is better than Harbor in low elo, but I really enjoy playing and learning him. Okay. Can you also do that by checking your smoke timer? Yeah, like you don't need to check the timer up there. Just check this timer here. That is maybe even easier. Like Omen smokes are replenishing every 30 seconds. When that timer down there says 17 or 18, you need to get ready to redo the smoke, or you need to be ready that your smoke is gonna fade away.
Blinding.
Actually, that is a really good tip. Like I never thought about that before. That's actually a really good tip. Good job, man. You're teaching me. I'm learning as well as a coach, man. Good job. Very good tip. Very good tip. Is Diamond 1 low elo? Yes. I mean, basically, Iron 1 to Ascendant 1 I categorize as a low elo, where players just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Ascendant 1 to Immortal 3 is like medium elo in Valorant. Like, players did get better, but, you know, there's a lot of boosted players, bot accounts, mentality is really bad, utility usage is horrible, team play is horrible. Usually players reach Ascendant and Immortal just with aim, and then they're hard stuck in Ascendant and Immortal for 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row. I mean, they're gonna be hard stuck for 6 years if they keep playing in that way. And everything above Immortal 3, 400 rank rating is real Valorant. You know, like where the game actually becomes kinda okay.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
Shadows traveling.
Okay. Fake knowledge and fake information. I said that on this timer, you should pay attention on 17 seconds. But actually, there is this time where the smoke is traveling, so, you know, maybe we cannot really use... We can use this timer as an approximate measurement for when the smoke is gonna fade away. Like, I think the best idea is, like, paying attention on this timer and deducting 13 seconds once your smoke deploys. So you see here, like, this is a huge travel time. Look at this.
Something okay.
So he's doing the smoke for the aim in. Like, for this smoke, it took this smoke 4 seconds. It took this smoke around 3 seconds to actually deploy. So once your smoke looks like this on the minimap, deduct 14 seconds from this and use that as a timer. True. Actually true. I mean, the best piece of advice then in that scenario would be like, when you deploy the Omen smoke, expect your smoke to fade away when there is 15 seconds on the clock there. Like, that is the moment of time where you need to either redo your smoke or you need to be aware that your smoke is going to be disappearing. Okay. Once again, I heavily recommend you guys, like, you need to learn how to play this game with different playstyles, with different guns, with different weapons, and, you know, being adaptive player and jack of all trades. Like, you don't need to really master everything, but you should be able to adapt yourself to different playstyles. So, you know, in these eco rounds, halbye rounds, you cannot follow the pro meta, and you cannot consistently rely on your one-taps to get the frags and to get the kills. Try to learn how to play a stinger, how to play a shorty, develop some strategies with the close-range weapons, especially on the defender side. Judge, Marshall, Sheriff you use on long-range maps, but you cannot play a Ghost with a light shield on a defender side.
Cover going out.
Reloading.
This push is really good here. I really like that he is supporting his Reyna. Like, this is good play. I mean, what this Reyna is doing is absolutely retarded. Like, I would not do this ever in my life. I'm 5 versus 3. I know that probably 2 or 3 enemies are here. Why would I push? You know? Like, there's no reason. We have numbers advantage. Like, let's pick up the guns from mid. Let's take the guns from the dead enemies. And let's play a refray game. But since his Reyna is going for this push, right now he needs to use his utility and his presence to support that Reyna and to adapt to her. So now I would definitely do the smoke here to block the vision of the enemies if they are rotating from the T-spawn, flash the enemies like this, and go with the Reyna. Generally speaking, Ghost sucks balls in solo queue for these eco and halberd rounds because you cannot rely on your teammates to do shit in solo queue. If you already want to play an eco weapon in this round, try to learn how to play a Stinger, Sheriff, Shorty, I don't know, like Marshall. Anything is better than a stupid Ghost and a Frenzy. Like, end of the debate. End of the story. Okay. Anyways, this whole push here didn't make a single sense. Like, we could have just taken the guns from the mid, play on mid, play on the guns that we got. We have a Light Shield, we have a Vandal Phantom. Like, why the fuck we push the enemies here? And definitely, I would have done the flash here in the tiles area of the map to support my teammates in mid, because there is no way that some enemies are not there. Okay. Where the fuck is Killjoy, man? Bro, Killjoy left because yeah, man, these lurking sentinels, man, huh? Are they gonna lose this round? Shorty nerf sucks. Insignificant. Like, the only problem with the Shorty now is the economy management. Like, you cannot really buy the Shorty every round and sacrifice your utility. Like, just buy the Shorty when you have money for it. And that's it. Like, still powerful weapon. The only thing that sucks about that nerf is that, I mean, you nerf the gun a bit, plus you nerf the price. You double the price. What? How does that make sense, bro? Like, what the fuck? I mean, if they nerf the weapon and the price is like 250 or 200 credits, that's fine. But 300 credits? What? What do you think of the Frenzy nerf? Okay. I don't know. I don't know about Frenzy. I need to test this in the game. Shorty is still gonna be very powerful. It's still gonna be a one-tap weapon, and you know, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. Like, primarily, you know, you use the Shorty to finish off the targets, to fight around your smokes, to fight in the close range choke points and corridors. Like, you're not gonna use the Shorty to, you know, as a primary weapon. So basically, like, now Shorty is still OP on a defender's side, like, as a first round strategy, on Haven, Bind, Ascent, and Split. And I'm still gonna do it, and on Lotus as well. But in the middle of the match, I'm gonna buy the Shorty if I'm playing eco rounds, halberd rounds, and if I have money for it. And one thing that you will need to be aware of, I think right now, it's gonna be impossible to one-tap the enemy with a heavy shield. You know? Like, I feel that you will need 2 taps to kill the enemies with a Shorty on any distance. Because the damage has been nerfed from 12 to 11 per pellet, per bullet. And what that means that if you're in a close range gunfight, I think now instead of dealing 156 damage, you're dealing 144 damage always. So you will need 2 taps to finish off an enemy in 0 to 7 meters. Would you still use your first round strategy? Yes, absolutely. Just don't buy a smoke. Go light shield, classic, smoke, and go light shield, classic, shorty, and try the steps. It's okay. Like, the whole point of that strategy is essentially getting an easy kill and getting out. And shorty is still gonna be overpowered against the enemies that don't have the shields, and against the enemies that don't have a shields, and against the enemies that have the light shield. Or maybe what we can do, instead of buying the light shield, we buy the classic, shorty, and utility. And gamble a bit. Why not? You know. Anyways, if the enemies are pushing that bomb site where you're playing a shorty, you can still kill an enemy with a ghost, pick up his ghost. And all of these strategies are so OP that, you know, very rarely they actually fail for me, like, without getting a single kill. And when it comes to, like, you know, depends actually which agent you're playing. You know, like, with Killjoy, I don't know. Like, I'll see. Like, as I'm making the playbooks, I'll be updating you guys, you know, for different agents, and we'll be using different strategies and different tactics. Like with Jett and Omen, I will still stick to my classic and shorty strats. Why am I watching this round? Like, whatever. Like, they were shit. What do you think about Bulldog? I somehow just go crazy with it sometimes. Better than Vandal. Bulldog, in my opinion, is the best force by weapon on almost every single map. Like Bulldog, Judge, and Judge. If you are considering whether you should buy a Spectre or Guardian, I would always go for the Bulldog or Judge instead. Like, Bulldog is such a, you know, underrated weapon in Valorant. It is such an adaptive weapon where on every single distance, if you hit a headshot and you hit a body, enemy is dead. And majority of times in Valorant, if you're consistently fighting in long-range gunfights and putting yourself in that situation to fight the enemies with ADS, Bulldog should win a gunfight instead of against the Phantom and Vandal. Like, in a long-range gunfights, I really feel that Bulldog is even more powerful than Phantom and Vandal. Is it normal that it is easy for me to learn other agents when I'm Omen and Jett main first? Absolutely. That's why I primarily coach the players on Jett and Omen first. Like, once you understand everything about Jett and Omen, these agents are gonna teach you everything, and they are gonna improve every single skill set of yours. How to be adaptive, when to be passive, when to be aggressive, how to properly execute the sites, how to properly defend the bomb sites. Essentially, the only things that these two agents are not teaching you are the fucking lineups, but that is very easy to be learned. And I mean, you know, just spend time in custom server. And setups of sentinels, like, but that is another thing that, you know, just watch YouTube videos and you're gonna learn that. You know, every single coach in Valorant that I have coached, and every single player that I have coached on Jett and Omen, either reached Radiant, Immortal, or they went up by, I don't know, like 4 to 6 ranks after my coaching. And for example, Wuhujin. Like, I always bring him as an example, unfortunately. Like, he says that he is a controller main. But the only time when he reached Radiant was actually when Jett was OP, and I coached him on Jett. Like, for 2 months. And, you know, you cannot say that you're a Radiant controller main when the only time you got to Radiant was with a duelist that is S-tier character. I mean, I also, like, I got Radiant with the Jett 12 times in my life. Like, literally, Jett is broken. Omen as well. Like, I think with Omen and Jett, I got Radiant, like, 13 or 14 times in the last, like, 3 years. And the 6 times when I got Radiant, was with some kind of a challenge, you know, Sentinel to Radiant, like Initiator to Radiant, and Controller to Radiant. Like, but generally speaking, Jet and Omen are just, you know, gods of Valorant. Good utility usage. One thing that I don't like is in this round is, you know, I when you're playing against the Brimstone that has the ultimate, he needs to be ready for that ultimate play. I really hope that he has some kind of escape route here, and that he's gonna think fast with the Shrouded Steps. When the Brimstone is deploying the ult on your ass, at the back of your mind, you should always have some kind of an escape route to escape his ultimate. Like, teleporting maybe, you know, from this location, you have like 3 spots where you can teleport. Like, basically, there, and you can teleport into his smoke there if he deploys it. Like, but he needs to be very, very fast with thinking. Once again, I would have done that smoke a bit deeper. Like, it's better to do deep smokes than to do the smokes that are shallow. So, once again, just as a reminder, this smoke is better than this smoke here, as a default smoke. BenQ XL 2411K, is it a good monitor? Yes, I can recommend it. This ultimate play here, okay, I have nothing against this, but yeah, I have nothing against this. Is fine. Like, but I would have teleported in this position primarily to support my race, and not to hunt some kind of a solo kills and kill the enemies in the T-spawn. Like, my mindset here would be, I want to play with a raise. I want to make sure that my raise lives a happy life, and that we can play on the reframe potential.
One enemy remaining. Spike down mid.
Okay, now once again, usually when you see in solo queue that KO has the ultimate, you can expect the push on B. I don't know why, but 70% of times in solo queue, when the KO has the ultimate, it is the B push. And that is just the raw statistical data from ranked solo queue. That is how I gamble in ranked, based on data and based on my previous match experience. Like here, I would definitely be on the B side, controlling the B main area of the map, doing the one-way smoke, or doing some kind of a setup to fuck up the enemies. Like, maybe in this round, I would also just play here, do the one-way smoke up there, and wait for the enemies. Obviously, that is still gambling. You know, like 70%, even though it sounds a lot, it's not, you know, like there's still a chance that enemies are gonna hit A, but it's better to play on the smart gambling than playing randomly, left and right.
Get out of my way.
And also, like, if you hear the Jet using the ultimate, you cannot play this position and chill in the shadow form. Like, if the enemies were pushing A set right now, maybe the Jet is going for the double object there, and she's gonna rip her head apart on that position. Like, you know. My guy, what he needs to fix is definitely, like, overall game awareness. Like, he is lacking the game knowledge. He is lacking the team play and game knowledge. Like, gambling a bit more on enemies' ultimate status, on enemies' mentality. Like that's why coaching is so beneficial in Valorant. Like, once you learn all of these, like, statistics, and once you learn how to smart gamble, the game becomes 10 times easier for you to play. Okay, one huge tip. If one of your teammates is stuck on the B side, so the Raze is stuck here, KO is here, Brimstone did a smoke there. always deploy your team as this type of a smoke, where you're connecting these smokes together. And now, KO can help the Raze and support her on site, or Raze can go back to the CT and we can play the retake safely. Or, both of these guys can surprise the enemies and try to kill them in some kind of a way. Like this smoke here is such an important support in solo queue when your teammates are playing on the B side. And when enemies are executing the B. This smoke will have a huge impact on your win rate on Ascent. Like if you already... Okay, yes, you should do the, you know, B main smoke, like either the default one or the one-way one. But the second smoke should always be used for this if your teammates are playing like this. Because Raze is right now fully isolated for the enemies. KO cannot support her in any way, and she's fighting a gunfights that are not working in her favor. Okay. Good smoke there, good flash there, no problem. Maybe a bit more, premature, like flash, but okay, whatever. Wait, I don't get that smoke. What do you get? What you don't get? Like, if enemies are pushing the B side, so enemies are exiting B. Brimstone has a smoke here and here. My teammate is stuck on the stairs. He's fighting the enemies. I'm stuck here. I want to have this type of a smoke, so that now my teammates can escape safely into the CT, or KO can rotate to the Raze, and now they can defend the B side together. Or both of them can pop flash this and peek the enemies from different angles and just fuck them up. Like when I'm placing my utility, you know, on a defender side, like that is a difference between a good and an average controller player. Like an average controller player is giving the utility to his teammates to stop and to delay the enemy's push. But a good controller player is not only giving the utility to stop the enemy's push, but also creating different opportunities for his teammates to actually have higher chances of killing the enemies and surviving. Nice kill. Learn the one-ways at the backside. They're better than regular smokes. We still need to clear the B main area of the map here, because as far as I remember, we heard one guy in the B main. Like if you're retaking the B site, first clear the B main and then focus on the site.
One enemy
okay, in this scenario, Brimstone is ulting you. This ultimate is from Ohio, literally. Like, what the fuck is this ultimate? I mean, come on. But your Reyna died alone on the stairs. You're immediately shifting your focus onto your KO and playing the refrag game with a KO. Right now, I'm not wasting my time waiting for this ultimate to finish. I'm running there to support my KO and to play the refrag game with him. Why would I be holding this when he is already peeking that?
One enemy remaining.
Especially now, in a 2 versus 1 scenario, I would have played with my KO. This is overdoing it, man. Like this is just like this is something I should never do. Like when you have a numbers advantage, and when you're 2 versus 1, like just stop using any utility. Like just stop doing anything. Like you don't need to do any aggressive play, any aggressive outplay. Wait for your teammate to connect with you and then kill the enemy. And generally speaking, you know, like this smoke I don't like. Just a second, like Valorant is the indie developer company, you know. They're not earning any money from the skins and from this game. They're barely, you know, affording like a Porsche for their CEO. And you know, they cannot run their servers forever. Like, they can run the servers only for, like, 1 hour. even though their servers suck balls, still, like, you know, they need to save money on the servers. I don't understand this. Like, I mean, what they're saving the money on the custom servers, but there we have the, you know, we have the CS:GO with the community maps and workshop and everything, and in Valorant what we have a custom servers that are lasting 1 hour and 30 minutes maximum. What the fuck, bro?
My ultimate is ready.
Okay. So don't do this. Don't do the smoke. Do the one way instead.
Shadows.
It's better. You're not allowing the enemy to pick that smoke ever. So this, now waiting for your KO, jiggle picking that enemy, maybe picking some small fight, teleporting there, peeking with a KO, bam, 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 defusing the spike. So far, would you say NA or EU is easier? NA is always going to be easier. Threshold for Radiant is lower, communication is better, and player's skill set is a bit lower. In EU, communication doesn't exist. You need to be extremely good solo player in order to get Radiant, or extremely adaptive player, and a lot of the games you're gonna lose because people are toxic. Like, if you don't understand how to solo carry your matches in EU, like, you're gonna have hell of a time. I think if I was playing in NA, I would have been like 10 times worse coach and player than I'm right now. Like, I think NA is fully locked on esports, and they're trying to implement the esports stuff in ranked solo queue, but that doesn't work, man. That simply cannot work. Like, in almost every single elo. By the way, this round you lost it, Angel, for so many different reasons. Now, in this round here, I have no idea what the enemies are gonna do. This round is a pure gamble. Enemies were having a success on both A and B, and whenever I have no idea where the enemies are gonna go next on Ascent, I either play the bomb site where the enemies abuse me the most, or I'm playing the bomb site that is my default. So here I'm probably gonna play in A short and control the short area of the map. And in this round, I will definitely buy a judge with the Omen instead of going for the Spectre. Like, Spectre is a shit weapon. Like, absolutely dog shit weapon. In every single round, that is not a second round of the match, when you win the first round, in anti-eco rounds. Like, but against the Vandals and Phantoms, it is better to go with a Stinger, Judge, Marshal, Sheriff, Bulldog, any of these weapons. Shorty. Even Guardian. But Spectre against Vandals and Phantoms, like, is just dog poo-poo. Charlatan, are you going to do Race to Immortal next? No, next stage that we're doing is the new Sentinel, and I have changed the rules of my series. So from now on, I'm gonna do the agents to Radiant, but we're not actually gonna get Radiant. We're gonna get Immortal 3. I think that is a fair, because I realized that you know, from unranked to Immortal 1, it's not, you know, I can win the matches even without using any of my strategies. But I think from Immortal 1 to Immortal 3 is going to be a bit harder, and I will need to focus on my Radiant outplays and strategies to win those games. So I was thinking about extending the Jet and Omen to Immortal 3, and during the June to get both of these accounts to Immortal 3, and to finish the playbooks.
Shadows traveling. Blinding.
I mean, you can compare my mindset to what this guy is doing with Omen. Like, you see how much, like, I didn't watch this VOD. I just, I don't care about that. And every single, what is the difference between me coaching players and other coaches? Like, I'm always speaking in advance what I would do and what is the smartest thing to be done. I hate the hindsighting and that type of shit. So, if you apply my mindset, my playstyle, to at least the smallest degree, you will have higher chances of winning these solo queue matches. You don't need to copy-paste me. You don't need to become me. But just try to think in that direction, Gamble smart. Gamble on what you see. Gamble on your experience. And gamble on what makes more sense when it comes to your positioning and how you're playing with your teammates.
Going mad.
The stream is chops. No. Look at my face cam. Stream is not chops like the VOD is chops. What is choppy?
Last player standing.
This is just the problem of two things. So first thing, whenever you're leaving the A site and you want to fight the enemies on mid or in the garden in short, always close the doors on A and isolate the short area of the map. Leave the site open. Bomb site doesn't matter for you. If you're gonna fight the enemies on mid right now, and we think we're gonna fight the enemies on short, I don't wanna worry about the A main area of the map. Close the doors. Now, if I already see that the killjoy is there, and I made this type of a footstep, in solo queue, you always need to pre-assume that the guy is gonna peek you. Because a lot of the players in solo queue are hungry for the kills. Like, they are... What they hear and what they see is what they fight. Like, they don't care about their teammates. They don't care about the refresh potential. They don't care about winning the rounds. The only thing they care about is being a team MVP and losing the match. So, if I made a footstep here, I need to expect that that guy is gonna try to kill me. So, if I'm rotating from this position towards my Reyna, through the CT, I need to look at the short area of the map consistently.
Last player standing.
Like, I always play with a pre-assumption that enemies are gonna peek me, enemies are gonna fight me, and enemies are hungry for the kills. Because 90% of times, they're gonna do that. And that's why they lose the gunfights against me. Now, once again, a simple read. Players in solo queue are very repetitive. They usually love to repeat the patterns from the previous rounds and previous matches and previous everything. They love to copy-paste the esports and generally what makes more sense in solo queue. So, with that thing in mind, Killjoy has the ultimate. What did Killjoy do last time with the ultimate? They pushed the B side. So what we need to do right now, we need to fight for the B main control. General problem of this match was on defender's side. Way too passive gameplay on a defender's side. Utility usage, poo-poo caca. Decision making can be much better. Map awareness can be much better. You need to improve that as well. And you need to gamble a bit more on your previous experience and previous rounds. You need to read the patterns and mentality of the enemies a bit better, and you need to counter them. So right now, we need to play aggro in the B main with a one-way smoke, and we need to stop the enemy's push on B site. Charlatan, today I got 3 wins after the coaching yesterday. Keep up the grind, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. Keep up the grind. I told you yesterday, you have a huge potential to be like an Immortal 1 player. And in the next like few months, I feel that you're gonna reach it without any problems. If you keep the playstyle and everything that we've discussed like from our coaching session. You see, your Reyna has a good idea there. Your Reyna has a good idea, but we need to give her the one-way smoke, man. We need that one-way. We need to control something on Ascent. Like, we're not controlling anything. We're just leaving everything open. A main open. Bottom mid open. B main open. Like, well, this guy's gonna fight. Like, what? One gunfight, maybe get killed by the enemy's jiggle peek, and what then?
Cover going out.
Guess what? Guess what they're pushing? They're pushing in B side, of course. Like, come on.
Cover going out. Here, stealing sight.
Now after that kill, the tide has shifted a bit. The tide has shifted a bit. Like, after that kill, maybe enemies are gonna finish on A. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but we'll see. Like, that kill changes everything. Like, after that kill, I don't know what enemies are gonna do. What I would do, I'll probably stay in the market and gamble that they're gonna finish on the B side. Maybe an Odin and a wallbang. The problem with the wallbang is, like, the good killjoy players will not plan the ultimate here, here, and here, and here. The good killjoy player will place the ultimate here and do the nanoswarm for the backside there. You have a lineup for that. Like, that is the proper way to use the killjoy ultimate. And on that position, you cannot penetrate and destroy the killjoy ultimate. But in Diamond Elo, like, probably they're not gonna do that. Yeah, that kill completely shifted the enemies from this idea.
You should run.
Actually, no, like, they're still committing. Bro, you have a sheriff. Ultimate is literally... Killjoy's ultimate is literally in this corner. Here. What are we waiting for here? Just... Actually, come a bit closer, like, you need to do that. Destroy it. Your raise is gonna die. You will need to leave your raise. We're dead. Good play by the raise, but I mean, I don't know. Like, you need to change your mindset, man. Like, you need to change your mindset and you need to simplify your gameplay a bit more. It cannot everything be like just killing the enemies, shooting the enemies in the head. Like, you need to be much more adaptive, much more supportive player, and you need to put some focus not only what you are doing, but also what your enemies are doing and what your teammates are doing during your match. Let's see attacker side. Like, this VOD is 40 minutes long. Like, maybe on the attack they're gonna be better. Okay, first round of Ascent on the attacker side. If enemies have only one sentinel, so they have only one of these guys. Always 1 or 0. 1 or 0. 5-man push on A. Aggressive 5-man push on A. And if I'm playing Omen Classic or Frenzy with a literally 2 smokes, 2 shrouded steps. You're doing the smoke for your teammates here. You're giving yourself smoke here instead of the generator, like this. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Enemies are probably gonna smoke you here. Do this from this position. Support your teammates, clear the smoke, kill the enemies. You can also extend your push under and additionally surprise the enemies. Now, if enemies have 2 sentinels, then we need to split something. Like, we either need to do a 1-4 split onto the B side, where one of your teammates is lurking through the B main area of the map and taking control of this slowly, and 4 of you guys, together with a spike, and you as well there, are going through the mid area of the map. You're giving your teammates smoke top mid, actually top market, CT, doing the shrouded steps here, entering the site, that's it. And the third strategy, if the enemies have 2+ sentinels, 2-3 split on A. Like, 2 players are going A main, 3 players are going mid, and you're going onto the mid together with your teammates. Spike is going here. You're giving your teammates smoke for bottom mid, smoke for short. You're using your shrouded steps there and applying the pressure onto the enemies onto the bomb site.
Find the weak point.
Guys, I can't help it. I'm too proud. We're happy to tell you we have a healthy baby daughter. I wish she never plays Valorant in her life, and I hope that she never touched video games. Good luck, man. Good luck.
Break it.
I would also like to have a daughter. Like, I was thinking about that. I don't know why, but I would not like to have a son. Like, I would like to have a daughter as my first child. I think it's more fun. And more drama queen. And also, if enemies have a certain agent, you need to pay attention on this. Like KO players, usually at the start of the round on Ascent, what they love to do is they love to deploy the knife either here or knife onto the main area of the map. So whenever enemy has a KO, you will notice that in my gameplay, I tell my teammates to play a contact onto some area of the map. Push, let's push. Like, enemies cannot rotate this fast. What's the problem? So we got revealed. What? Let's go. Enemies have a Brimstone, Jet, Sova, KO. KO is playing A. Killjoy is probably playing B. Sova is playing B. Let's go. Like, what is gonna stop you? Come on, let's go. Don't stop your pushes because of a knife.
One suppressed.
Manamig, bro, Manamig, GG. My reaction is the same, man. I just read that comment and I was like, just, I don't know. Like I'm gonna have a sperm bank, and you guys, you know, if you want it, like just take it. I cannot fuck your wife, unfortunately, because my GF would cut off my cock because of that. But, you know, I can donate. Can I pre-order a batch? In this round, actually, one more mistake happened that I didn't see. Never buy, in the first round, a fucking paranoia. Like, you never know if that paranoia is gonna be useful or not. And 2 smokes are needed. You need to have 2 smokes and 2 shrouded steps to be adaptive and to adapt to what your teammates are doing. You're losing the match 2-10. Can we trust our teammates right now? I could not trust these allies, even if they were like Dalai Lama and fucking, I don't know, like Joe Biden. I don't know, like fucking Trump is playing with me. Actually, why the fuck would I trust the Trump and Joe Biden? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what was the point here. So, basically, I cannot trust these guys. That means that I need to play the solo game, and I need to do some kind of an aggressive play here. And I need to be adaptive. Paranoia, 0 adaptiveness. 2 smokes and 2 shrouded steps, enormous amount of plays, enormous amount of executes. And here, you know, when your teammates were pulling out this rotation, you should have just rotated with your teammates and that's it. I mean, if you already bought a paranoia, you need to play a team play game. We need to use that paranoia to push the side with our allies. Your smoke is useful, like, you cannot stay here. Like, when my spike is there, I'm out, bro. In the first round, like, the number one most important rule in the first round. Number 1 most important rule on attacker's side at the first round. Play S5 towards one same specific objective. Don't split, don't rotate, don't flank, don't lurk, don't play solo, don't do anything. Push something together. One objective. Number 2 rule. Try to avoid sentinels, and even if your push gets delayed, go in. You have the advantage in every single possible way. And number 3 rule, play S5 always. It's easier, essentially, to play a refray game in the first round than in any other round. Because pistols are, believe it or not, the most consistent weapons in Valorant, which is kind of sad. And essentially, like, in pistol rounds, it's easier to play a refray game because they are semi-automatic. This death, completely unnecessary and not justified. And your team has lost the round. Bravo! Yes, sir! I'm turning into Italian here, bro. Just a second, I need to sip something. Guys, is anyone from Italy here? I'm going to Italy in September. For like 10 days. I'm going to Firenze and I don't know where the fuck else, like Bologna and I don't know, I'm going to the north. And Rome. Mamma mia, it's gonna be a splendid pizzeria. Okay, in this round, definitely we needed to force the weapons because, you know, we planted the spike, we're losing 2-11. If we're losing 2-11, like, you know, from now on, we are forcing every single round and we are trying to win every single possible round. But we know that the Killjoy is the B player. We know that enemies A is weak because they have only KO and Jet there. Let's push AS5. Or maybe let's support our teammates on mid because our teammates are fighting the enemies right now. And essentially like, you know, try to support your most aggressive allies or allies that have the spike with themselves. Like right now, give them the smoke at the bottom mid, isolate the Jet, kill the Jet, etc, etc. I'm from Greece. Come to Greece, nice, and Italy. I was never in Greece, to be honest, and I plan to go to Greece like next year. On the attacker side, you have the same problem that you have on the defender side. Like, you need to support your teammates a bit better with your presence and with your utility. And you need to learn how to prioritize your teammates as well. If 3 of my teammates are mid and they're carrying a spike, bottom mid smoke, pushing with my teammates, that's it. I think this game was stupid to submit. Not really. Not really. Like this game is showcasing how much he is actually lacking the game awareness and team play. I feel that if he focuses more on supporting his allies with proper utility usage, proper one-way smokes, proper flashes, proper positioning, and pinpointing his teammates that are more in the highest chances of death, he would find 10 times more success in solo queue and winning these games with an ease. Like, I have 2 teammates with a spike in mid. Why the fuck am I playing with a raise? And I have 2 teammates that are mentally ill on mid. Like, these guys are losing 2-11. Everyone is bad in the team. Like, I need to prioritize baiting them, trading them, and trying to do something with them. As I said, like, when you're playing Omen on Ascent, like, you're seriously in that babysitting mode. Like you need to observe like minimaps so much if you truly want to have higher chances of winning these matches and rounds. And after Greece, come to Portugal. That is actually my 3rd destination. Like in Portugal, I'm going in 2024 next year as well, and I think I'm going to Lisbon. Lisbon. I don't know how you call that town. That play was dumb. It's like the problem are not the dumb plays. Like the real problem is like when you're aggressive. Lisboa in Portuguese. Okay. The problem of these plays that he's doing is that he is in such a bad mental state where all of his worst mistakes are showing up. But also the problem is if this is how he is autopiloting, if this is how he is playing Omen on autopilot mode, I think that his best performance is also not good. You know, like, if I'm playing Omen on autopilot mode, and in this match I don't give a fuck, I'm still gonna play with these guys here. I'm still gonna give them the smoke at the bottom mid. I'm still gonna go with them on mid, because my spike is going there. I'm still gonna push the short with a flash and pressure that Jet back. This cross here onto the Amen was fine. Yes, the enemy could have been in vines, but I don't know, like, we've seen in the previous round that they played a bit more passively. They didn't even fight for the Amen area of the map, so it was okay. But then, going for this play was abysmal. Like here, after seeing the Sova there, pulling out the shrouded steps and going in, that is abysmal, man. Like, I don't know how you don't notice that guy, and how do you commit yourself to this type of a play. How would you smoke tower on A site? I had an argument there with a friend lately on how to do it. But you had an argument because you're watching Lotter, you know, like, and Lotter is telling you to smoke like this. I'm joking, of course, like, shh. Listen, in solo queue, there are 3 ways to smoke the Tower of Ascent on A site. So, we have this smoke, we have this smoke, and we have the one-way smoke that is being deployed right here, like this. Now, what is the best smoke for solo queue? The absolutely best smoke for solo queue is the one-way smoke up there. Only because I can never expect when the enemies are gonna peek that smoke, whether or not my teammates are gonna pay attention on that fucking smoke, what my teammates are gonna do when they're pushing the site in solo queue, how much of a brain cells they're gonna have. And this smoke will at least protect me as I'm pushing into the site, into the generator, and executing the site. If you don't have time to do this one-way smoke, then you should be doing the smoke like this, or smoke like this. This smoke I will use when enemies are, when we are playing a full buy rounds, and enemies are also playing a full buy, actually it doesn't matter, when I'm playing full buy rounds. But if I'm playing an eco round, half buy round, or I notice that my teammates are dying from the peak from the smoke, or under the tower, I'm gonna do this smoke 24/7. So essentially, you will see in my gameplay, I deploy this smoke when I notice that my teammates are dying from the tower, or from under the tower. Or if I'm playing some kind of an eco half buy round, and I need to pressure the enemies. But as a default smoke, I'm gonna pick this type of a smoke here. The white smoke is really bad, in my opinion. It gives them so much room to move out of tower. Every smoke on tower is bad. Like literally, borderline. You don't need. I will not even want the smoke on tower. Like, it's better to deploy a sage like Slorb there, like Nade of the Rays, like every smoke is dangerous to some degree there.
Last player standing.
Are they gonna win this? The money. Nah. They won this round, and my guy is playing a ghost in the next round. Bro, you're losing the match 11-3. Do you think that your teammates have a mental capacity? If you lose one more round, do you think that your European teammates have the mental capacity for the comeback from 12-3? I've never done that in my life. Like in EU, I've never come back from the 12-3 scoreline. Like, right now, every single round is a full buy round. Like, until the end of the match. Especially now, where you won the round. Right now, we just buy a Vandal, Heavy Shield. I don't know how much money he has. He has 2,800. Heavy Shield, I don't know, Stinger, Shorty. Or telling your Raze, can you please buy me the weapon? I was a bad boy on a defender's side. We've all sucked. Can we win this match? Or Raze, give me the Spectre, buy the Vandal, I need a weapon. Or buy the Light Shield with the Bulldog. But playing a Ghost without anything? I might do this fool. Like, he lost the mentality in this match. Don't do this, guys. Like, every single match is winnable, to some degree. Like, and you never know, when you switch the sides, who is better. Like, I've lost plenty of games with 11-3 scoreline. And also won them as well. Like, play until the end, see how the match is gonna develop. Maybe enemies are trash cans, like you were on a defender's side. I mean, so far I can see that enemies are making the same mistakes that you did on a defender's side. They're not controlling A main, not controlling B main, and, you know, we can just kill them.
Short.
Actually, we got a Vandal.
Cover going out.
The only smoke that you should never do is this one that he did, like a, you know, a half-ass smoke. Like, you either want to do the one way, this, or this. In this round, I would probably just go for a default smoke because enemies are playing an eco hull by round, and I want to fight the enemies. I mean, I want to fight them in a clean gunfights.
Shadows traveling.
Reloading.
I just won a 12-2 Lotus match in Diamond 2. It just happened. I don't know, maybe my teammates are... I don't know. In Europe, I've never seen in my life, like... actually, at least I never won the match after I reached 12. 12-7, 12-8. People in EU lose the will to play. They already think match is over. Overtime doesn't exist in EU.
I'm going in. Yes.
Okay. When it comes to your utility usage and aggressive shrouded steps, you really cannot do this type of plays. Like the problem with these plays is that, you know, they're way too predictable when there is, you know, no utility, no sounds, no gunshots, like nothing to actually like support you. Like, you will never see me go for these type of plays. Like, this is like what Flexinja is doing, and 90% of times this fails for him. Like, your plays need to be methodical, meaningful, done with some kind of a utility usage with your teammates, or to bamboozle the enemies in some kind of a way. This is not bamboozling, like, this is just losing your life. Like, here, it would have been 10 times better if you first of all played with your teammates in short, and if you left your Raze alone in A, because whatever, like, I mean, you have no shield, anyways you're gonna die. Now, if you already decided to support this Raze, once the Raze started moving back, I would move back as well. I have a Spike, I have a Vandal, I have a numbers advantage. Why would I lose this round? So right now, I would fully focus on that numbers advantage, push through short onto the A side, and close out this round and this match. I mean, this round, sorry. Like, there's no reason for me to fight enemies in A main anymore, because you know, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And here, after you saw two enemies coming in your face, there's no shrouded steps. Like, there's nowhere for you to shroud a step. Like, I'm waiting for the enemies to push me, holding the angles and praying to God that my Raze is not gonna leave me alone here.
Yes.
Drop.
Shadows traveling. Deployed. Cover going out. One suppressed.
It's
What? Did he just smoke the turret of the Killjoy? In which playbook did you see that? Is that another playbook from the Lotter? Esports playbook? Like, I don't know, man. Like, like, you know, if you're pushing B side, like, and you want to do default smokes for your teammates with Omen, you're always doing the smoke in CT. One-way smoke in market.
Cover going out.
And that's it. How my smokes always like, this never fails for me in the game, But when I'm using the smokes in this shadow form, I always fail it. Using the smoke here. Okay, I'm gonna use it in a normal way. Fucking hell, bro. Like, essentially that's it. So you're using this smoke, and you're pushing the site. What is this like? Why do I need to cover the killjoy turret? I mean, that is such a huge gap when we are pushing into the site. Like, that's stupid. And anyways, like, you know, if you notice that your teammates are not even pushing B, why am I doing the smokes? Like, in this round, if like, basically, I need to give you one rule for Ascent and Split and almost every single map. If one of your teammates on the attacker side is in some area of the map, so let's say one of your teammates is pressuring the enemies on mid, I don't give a shit about that teammate, and I'm fully focusing my utility onto the rest of my team that is pushing something. Okay, if 2 or more of my teammates are on mid, I need to give them the utility, and I need to support them in that area of the map. So I need to give my teammates a smoke for short, smoke for mid, smoke for mid, smoke for anything. Like, I need to isolate at least one of these angles. So if I see here on the minimap that at the start of the round, 2 of my teammates are looking at short, Raze is peeking top mid, I'm giving them either the bottom mid smoke or the short smoke, no matter what I'm doing at that moment of time. And if I notice that my teammates are fully focused on mid and nobody's coming B, I'm abandoning the mission, abandoning the push, and pushing with my teammates. Like, you know, you want to bring your gameplay in Valorant to such a high consistency levels that even your autopiloting mode is good. Like, I think that right these days, like, I'm playing Valorant more on the autopilot mode than anything else. Like, I think I'm not using my brain as I did before, but I'm able to do that only because, you know, I played so many different scenarios and I'm repeating the same shit over and over again for the last 3 years that I don't need to use my brain anymore, literally, to win the matches. But, you know, if you're autopiloting like this, like, only God can help you to reach Radiant, like, nothing else.
Mid. Short mid.
I mean, what are you holding here? Like, you're holding one potential kill, 50-50 fight, instead of supporting your teammates on mid and playing with them right now. Like, if you lose the spike right now, the chances of your teammates winning this round is 30% lower. Why would I ruin the chances? And why would I ruin the numbers advantage?
I'll flash on.
One enemy
Good.
remaining.
Heaven.
Okay.
Oh, he's dead.
Killjoy is probably the B player. We can expect her in the CT or maybe on the flank. Okay, this round is won. GG. Babila, what would be the evolution if someone just unlocked Omen for today? Ask me that question tomorrow. Favorite map? Icebox and Split. Icebox and Split, definitely. Both of these maps are my most winnable maps. Last act when I got Radiant, like, I had like 90 wins and 3 lost games on Icebox.
Get out of my way.
Okay. Okay, this utility that he did was a bit wasted, but generally speaking, any utility that you do to potentially save the life of your teammates and to, you know, protect yourself is not wasted. I mean, if your teammates are already not using their utility to clear the mid area of the map, to clear the positions, use it yourself. Fuck it, you know, like, this flash is a bit wasted for Omen players. I'm not gonna lie. But it's better to be safe than to be sorry at the end of the day. And anyways, the best map for Omen are Split and Bind. Split, Bind, and Haven, actually. And every other map is like, you know, he's good, but not the best character, maybe. Like, the maps where he really sucks is Pearl and Breeze. Like, Pearl and unplayable, literally. Especially on Breeze. Okay, so this is another tip that I need to give you. If it is possible, in the ranked solo queue, if your teammates are playing D, anti-eco round, so enemies have a low buy, tell your teammates to push something as 5. Anything. Like just tell them, hey guys, can we push A fast? Can we push B fast? It is absolutely stupid to allow your teammates in an eco and hull buy round for the enemies, to allow them to play 50-50 duels. Just stomp the enemies. You have utility advantage, you have numbers advantage, economy advantage. Push. It is stupid to split the sides. It is stupid to fight for the mid areas of the maps. It is stupid to play default. Pressure the enemies aggressively. You'll have more success in ranked solo queue. Lotus now, I think... No, Lotus is actually good for Omen. Like, in my Omen to Immortal series, I played Lotus quite a lot of times. And on Lotus, we got like 10 wins and 2 lost games. Lotus is good because of the one-way smokes and different executes and setups. Like, he is good for crossing into the bomb sites, for having a bit more adaptive smokes and different reasons.
My ultimate is ready.
Short.
Enemy spotted mid. There.
But the map is shit. Lotus is not a shit map. Lotus is just boring, man. Like, I'm already playing Haven, and I got Lotus. Like, same map. Like, even worse. Like, Lotus is even worse than Haven. Like, I don't know. I think they can be a bit more creative with the new maps. Like, I think that, Fracture is the pinnacle of creativity for Valorant.
Oh, come B, come. 2 mid, come.
Man, like your Omen outplays. So okay, let's talk about this one. One guy in the chat said if they stack 5 on site, isn't it better to check before which side they stack if they are on eco? Very rarely in solo queue you will see that players are stacking the bomb site in an eco hull by round. In 95% of scenarios, enemies are gonna play default, which is absolutely stupid for eco and hull by rounds. It's better to gamble somewhere and push something or I don't know, be unpredictable, stack the bombs, etc, etc. Like in my matches, I see in 1% of enemy eco rounds that they stack the site. And if they stack the site, so what? You have like Vandal, Phantoms, 25 abilities to enter the site, like fuck them up. Like I don't know why players in Valorant on the attacker side are scared to push the bomb sites 5 versus 5 or 5 versus 3. Like what are you expecting? To fight nobody on site and to play the post plant every single round? Not gonna do it. Oh, that flash of that second flash of the KO was really good.
Come B, come. 2 mid, come. One.
One enemy remaining.
You know what? Like your plays look very similar to what Flexinga is doing, bro. But these plays are very inconsistent, and you're risking your life by a lot. Like there is a huge playstyle difference between that and what I'm teaching players to do. Like a lot of times when you're going for the plays, like they're way too risky. Like they're not super bad, but they're not good as well. Like they're, middle ground between good and bad. And you really need to, decide when you want to be aggressive, when you want to be passive, when it is smart for you to be aggressive, when you should actually be aggressive. Like, basically here, I'm 3 versus 3. I have gun advantage. I have all of the advantage in this world. Enemy jet is there with the knives. It is a bit better for me to just play a normal gunfight with that jet instead of going for this teleport, because first of all, usually when you use the Omen teleport, the first position that enemies check is behind. Second of all, you're teleporting in an open area of the map where there can be one additional enemy there, and you're very overexposed. Like a lot of the players that you're going for are really overexposed, and they're not supported by any cover, any utility, any gunshots, anything basically. And they're way too predictable and easy to read. That's the problem. Like, just watch some of my gameplay, you know, like when I go for this type of plays. Like, usually all of my aggressions, you know, at least I safely teleport, if nothing else. You know, you don't need to outmaneuver the enemies, but just make sure that your TPs are safe enough so that you can pull out the gun. Cool plays don't always win the rounds. The right plays usually do. Exactly, like, you know, that's why YouTube clips are stupid, man. To like watching, like, you know, a gold player can make an outplay that Flex is making, for an example, one in a lifetime. But the thing is, these plays are way too predictable, like,
Come.
Oh,
and dangerous.
Voila.
That repositioning there was cool and fine, but right now probably I would have used the ultimate on Ascent and just planted the spike and won this round.
Enemy remaining.
Okay. Same as on like on the defender side. Whenever you're deciding to push something, like, you need to think 2 steps ahead. Like, you need to think how you want to push the site, how you want to play the post plant, and what can happen for you in the post plant. Like, enemies have the Killjoy ultimate. That means that this round we need to fight for the short control. We cannot close the doors and play the post plant from the site. Yes, there is a wallbang that you can use to kill the Killjoy ultimate, but only God knows if the Killjoy is going to place the ultimate right there. Usually they do, but you don't know. So in this round, first of all, I would be doing some aggressive play because your duelists absolutely suck ass. Second of all, we need to wait for the KO knife because we're going to get revealed. And third of all, we need to use 1 smoke for ourselves, 1 smoke for our teammates, flash, enter the site aggressively, and take the short control in the meantime. Okay, KO, use the knife on the B side. Let's push something. Are players like really this afraid, like to push against the op? I mean, we have the Sky ultimate, Sky flashes, Omen flash, smokes, KO flash. Like, what's the problem?
Cover going out.
And this tip I have given, like, in my previous VOD reviews as well, and you will see this in my gameplay as well with Omen. Like, if an operator, first of all, this area of the map, you should never cross like how he did. Like, when you're crossing main areas of the maps, here and here, you always want to bait your teammates, number 1. Number 2, you should always jump spot the enemies, or use some kind of utility to pressure the enemies. So these 3 solutions. If I'm going slow, I'm letting my teammates go first, and then I'm peeking. If we're going fast, jump spotting the enemies, and then going for a peek. If I think the enemies will play there, flash, go peek. It's better that your teammates are wasting the flashes, like Reyna flash, Phoenix flash, KO flash, Sky flash, than for you to waste the flash with the Omen. But if your teammates are already not doing the proper utility usage, then it's better for you to use the proper utility users to support your teammates and to save your own life as well. Now, the recommendation that I was giving. So, if you see an enemy operator, especially the Jet, playing the op in a main area of the map, let's say Haven for an example, better explanation. So, Jet is using the op here. You cross this area of the map by jump spotting, by bunny hopping, and he peeks, dashes away, and takes a shot. Always use the paranoia to pressure that Jet back. Because majority of the Jet players will go for a re-peek, especially in the ranked solo queue. Jet players love to be very undisciplined, and 60% of times they will re-peek you again, and your teammates. And that is when your teammates are going to lose the life. If you see the Jet with an op in a main area of the map, when she misses a shot, or hits a shot, push her back with a flash. It's better than wasting the life of your teammates. Than losing the life of your teammates, actually. Chikara Daya, welcome to you, man. What do you think about Flexinja and his Omen? Fun playstyle, not sustainable, and a lot of times just optimal. On a scale between bad, optimal, and best, I put it in the middle. Unlucky.
Close to me.
Oh,
Spike down.
I don't know. Like my best tip for players in solo queue is don't be afraid. Like, it doesn't matter what enemies have on the bomb site. If they don't have a proper agents to defend that side, just push. Like, don't be afraid of the op. Don't be afraid of anything. Pressure the enemies with utility back and just push. Like the more you rotate on the attacker side in solo queue, the higher are the chances that your teammates are gonna pick one by one. Like on the attacker side, I really try to focus on a bit more aggressive playstyle, and a playstyle where I'm consistently pressuring the enemies instead of doing unnecessary over rotations on the attacker side. Now, if we've seen the enemies play operator on the A side, definitely we need to use some kind of a flash in B main. Okay. Good.
There's another.
This smoke here, we are never using for a default play. Like, if you're pushing the B bomb site in a default way, the only smoke you're doing is either this or the one way here. This smoke, you're using only when you're going for some kind of an aggressive play. And the smoke needs to look exactly like this. So, we're teleporting under, here, or all the way there. And never inside of the smoke, up here. If you teleport inside of the smoke, death is probably awaiting you.
Backside.
One enemy remaining.
market or city.
His overall game awareness and map awareness is very low. Like, he really needs to focus more like on his surroundings, paying attention more on the minimap, like when he's not fighting the enemies, where he is hearing the gunshots. Like, a lot of times he's clueless when it comes to the information, you know, on the map. And that is something that he definitely needs to improve on a much higher standards. Yeah.
Shutting them down.
Scout destroyed.
One suppressed. Early charge.
Shut on knife. Man.
Once again, all of these flashes that he is doing is better for you that KO, Sky, and Reyna are flashing for you than for you to waste your flash for this. Like, it's always better with Omen to use your flash to enter the site or for some kind of an aggressive push and play than clearing the main areas of the map. If that is possible, you know, like, depending how good or bad your teammates actually are and whether or not they want to play with you.
What the fuck?
Woof. Now, whenever you're crossing whenever you're crossing the short area of the map, like, always give yourself and your teammates this type of a smoke. And what I personally love to do, I love to go for this type of a teleport there, extending the gap between me and my teammates a bit, and trying to push the, you know, A side from this position and pick the enemies from this corner, like, just so that we're peeking from different angles, you know. But of course, I'm gonna go for this teleport as my teammates are ready to push in. We need a smoke for short. We need a smoke. We need a smoke for short. Like, if you have one smoke and you're pushing it through the short on A side, we need a smoke for short. We literally in this round, we I don't know if we're gonna lose this round or not, but just one smoke fucked us up. Like if your teammates are splitting the A side through Amen and short, or we are pushing from the short, the smoke is necessity. It's not even a question whether or not you should do it. It's just something that you need to have to isolate this fight a bit more. And if you're already pushing only through the short area of the map, your primary focus should always be clearing the A main area of the map and making sure that nobody's here. Raise flash that actually.
Get out of my way.
This was a really good play. Like, this was a really good adaptation of them and how they play the slow here. Why? Because in the previous round, when enemies were eco and halby, enemies were hyper aggressive. Every single round where enemies were like eco and halby, they were just pushing them. So it was a good thing to call like for a bit slower push and to wait for the enemies to make a mistake.
Shadows traveling.
Short.
Okay.
Shadows traveling. Blinding.
But okay. On every single map, on every single bomb site, on every single area of the map, you have one location that is the safest location for the dry teleport with Omen. And that is something that you need to learn through your gameplay, through trial and error, if you're already not getting coached by me. So basically, when you're pushing A site, if I don't want to do any aggressive smoke for my shrouded steps, I need to do the smoke like this for the short, flash the enemies on the right side, and I'm going for this TP. And now, we teleported in the safest possible position where we can take the gun out and actually fight the enemies without dying in a stupid way. You need to learn, but if you want to use Omen, you need to learn how to perform your executes and aggressive plays in a bit safer manner than just randomly dropping a TP. You pray to God and you're like, what happens, happens. I love your TikTok videos, bro. Keep killing it. Dabbing a lot, man. Okay. This is good. This is good.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, this is easy round, I guess. Okay, GG. That's something new. I hope I could TP like this out of my problems. You can actually. It's up to you to choose. Do you have access to your favorite map available on YouTube? Nope.
Cover going out. Cover going out. Blinding.
I mean, what he did in this round, like, once again, too many wasted abilities for zero impact and map control in reality. Like, I mean, right, you know, when your teammates are playing a bit slower, it's a bit better to see how the round is gonna develop and, like, you know, which type of fights your teammates are gonna pick up than doing these type, you know, like everything to just take the bottom mid. Like, you know, that short smoke was fine to block the enemies in short and to fight the enemies in mid. But then we should have waited a bit to see, you know, where the enemies are, what my Sky is gonna do here, who's she gonna reveal in the A main area of the map. Like, we can't really, you know, waste this much utility for nothing. And also when he was entering the mid here, he needed to check left and right angles. I mean, obviously enemies can be there. He checked it now. Anyways, like, I really feel that with the teammates that are bad teammates that are mechanically worse than the enemies, and teammates that, you know, you feel are just terrible, it's usually better to play a team play game. To just tell them to push something fast, to push together and play together. Like, with those type of teammates, you cannot trust them to do something alone. Like, if you already see that your teammates are trash cans, it's better to use that trash cans to actually refrag them, bait them, play a, you know, refrag game, than letting them die in a solo gunfights like this. If that is possible, of course, if they're gonna listen to you. Yikes, man. Okay, okay. I'm not talking about this because after this VOD review, I'm gonna give him a very specific training routine to follow for his mechanical skill and also for his overall awareness in the game. So, you know, some things like we're already doing this VOD review for 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think I covered a lot of problems on Ascent. Oh, my favorite mistake. My favorite mistake in solo queue. So look at this. This. Like, literally. You cannot go for this type of a play ever. Alone. Because of this sound right here. Like, it is way too predictable. And basically, if you're going alone and picking the enemies from this position, most of the times you're gonna die. Because that footstep is way too audible. And when I hear that single step, I'm just holding you up here and you're dead. I'm gonna peek from this position only if my teammates are peeking from below and we are taking the aim in area of the map. Otherwise, your head is gonna probably fly away. Is it possible to do a silent step here? Maybe. Oh, there is a silent step for this. Okay, never mind. I didn't know. How the fuck I do it again? This is hell of a time to practice, huh? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you actually you need to get a running start. Okay. I completely forgot about this. Okay, so you know, if you want to get up on this position, then just use this like mechanic. You know, get a running start, press the shift, crouch, and just go on this spot, and then pick the enemy. Otherwise, like, you know, with that footstep, like it's way too easy to predict that the guy is gonna pick you from above. I like that classic European, like.
Shadows traveling.
Seek them out.
There. Find it.
Found one.
Take the space, like literally here. You know, this Kai ultimate literally revealed you everything. Look at this. Like, first of all, guys, in solo queue, whenever you see some kind of a weird smoke, like the brimstone smoke, for an example, always expect the peak. Whenever you see a smoke, like, expect one enemy can play around the smoke. Like, play with that pre-assumption. Second of all, like, I mean, if two Sky ultimates, the cabbages, are going through the short, one is going in the CT. Right now, I'm running onto the B site and taking the space. In this round, I probably would have even teleported all the way to the back of the site and took a full site control. I mean, in the rounds when you have the ultimate with Omen, you don't need to exclusively play with your teammates and with a spike on a refresh potential. In those rounds, you can go for the solo plays because, you know, at any moment of time, you can actually kill You can pick up the spike.
3 for 3.
One B side. Go B side.
Cover going out.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, this timing, man. GG, well played, I guess, here. I was wondering how are they gonna lose this round with 2 enemies on B and 1 guy on A side.
One B side. Go B side.
But let's be honest. Like, what are we smoking right now? Like, what type of Zaza are we smoking right now? Like, literally, like, our teammates are pushing A. They got a kill on A. Let's go help our Sky.
Cover going out.
Okay, okay, what? Okay, pick up the spike, teleport to A. No!
Spike down mid.
Okay. I think that this guy, my angel friend, Diamond 1, knows quite well what type of problems he should be fixing in his gameplay, and that definitely he can improve his overall team play, utility usage, and prioritization on much higher levels. We discussed enormous amount of topics. I mean, it's already 2.5 hours into one simple VOD review. So really, I don't want to focus on anything else. I'm done today. Done. It's a tier 3 sub VOD review. Now, I'm going to send you the AIM training routine in a training program that you're going to follow for 2 or 3 months after this VOD review. And also, I will send you a specific training routine to fix your map awareness, game awareness, and overall awareness in the game on a bit higher levels. So basically, like, I feel that your map awareness and overall game awareness, what your teammates are doing and where you should support them with your utility, is extremely low. And we need to bring that on much, much higher levels. Remember that in Valorant, everything is fixable in video games. Communication, awareness, game sense, mentality, attitude, everything has some kind of a fix. But the thing is, you know, not every routine is the best, and the perfect routine is the perfect routine. Now, righty. That's it for this VOD review. Like, if you want to get coached by me, guys, like, join my Discord server. If you want me to do a free VOD review for you, you can also submit your free VOD reviews, and if you win a giveaway, I'm gonna review your VOD. And basically, that's it. Okie dokie. See you later.